their habitat. One of the best things we can do is this. First, I'm going to ask you, how many people in the crowd here have a cell phone? Put your hands up if you have a cell phone. Probably would have been easier to say who doesn't have a cell phone, right? In your cell phones, the batteries use a mineral called cadmium. Cadmium is mined in the forests where these guys live. As a result, every time they mine, these guys lose some more of their habitat. Now, I'm not saying don't have your cell phones. They're a necessity in life. We all have them. We all use them. But when you are ready to get a new cell phone or your cell phone dies, please recycle it. Don't just throw it away. Better yet, if you take your cell phones into the Greater Vancouver Zoo in Aldergrove, they will give you a 2-for-1 pass to come into the zoo. It's part of their conservation program and trying to help save the habitat of these wonderful animals. So with that said, I'd like to introduce you guys. Please give a round of applause to our friend Sydney. They're getting a little better. They're still a little quiet when they applaud though. Show me your pretty wings. Pretty wings. You don't listen to me, do you? Come on, okay, you're gonna climb up there. You know, like I said, 4-year-olds, how well do they listen to you, right? There we go. There's his pretty wings. Good boy, Sydney. Now, Sydney here, he is a blue and gold macaw. These guys are just about the most popular of the macaw species in the pet trade. This guy also belongs to Dave and Monica, and he also came from a good home. Unfortunately, Sydney's story is a little bit sadder. Sydney had an owner who loved him very, very much. Unfortunately, she was killed in a car accident. Sydney then went on to live with a veterinarian who was from the same office that his previous owner worked at. Sydney stayed there for quite some time until coming to the BC Exotic Bird Society, where Dave and Monica took him on. Sydney here is 27 years old, and you know what? Sorry, getting tongue-tied here. That's all right. I got a big parrot on my arm. I'm keeping an eye on him. Who out there can tell me, we've told you the Goffins live 40 years, the Amazons live 60 to 70. How long do you guys think this guy can live? I heard 100 in many places, and that's right, these guys can live for 100+ years. So, this means that no matter how healthy Dave and Monica stay, and how much we like them, reality is, Sydney is going to need another home. Sorry Dave, did I just weird you out a little bit? The average amount of homes for a parrot in their lifespan is 7. We would like to see anybody who has a bird make sure they understand what is involved in keeping a parrot, because we'd like to see that number drop drastically. Now, just because a bird is going to or may outlive you is no reason to not have a parrot. You just need to make sure that you have a plan for that bird in the event that something happens. We all know that we want to live as long as we can and have a happy, healthy life, but unfortunately accidents happen, things change in our lives, and sometimes we need to move on. We don't want to see birds have to be rehomed, but this is one of the reasons that the BC Exotic Bird Society exists. Even if you adopt a bird from the society, if at some point in time you can no longer keep that bird, they will welcome that bird back into their foster program until a proper home can be found for them. So Sydney is another good example of why you should look at adopting and not shopping. As you can see, Sydney come up to me, he's happy to sit on my arm. Charlie again was happy to sit with me, so was Maya. We talked about that myth that young birds that you can go buy that are hand raised are the better choice. It is just a myth. You need to consider all these guys. Sydney here is gorgeous. You can see that he does still have some plucking going on. Sometimes, no matter how good of a home you give, there will be some reason that these guys are going to pull their feathers. All we can do is give them the best life that we can. Sydney is very healthy. He does go to a vet for checkups. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just a little quirky. Look beyond those plucked feathers. Look beyond some of the flaws that you might see, and look to the beauty inside the parrot. This is where you guys will have a long, happy life with any parrots. So right now, I've said a lot of reasons why you might not want to own a parrot, between the amount of time they live, the noise that they make, the messes they make, and everything else. So you might be wondering, why would I want to own one? Well, to be honest, you've got to be a special kind of person to be successful with a parrot. Some people call us crazy. I'm okay with that, really. So, for those who have the patience and can find it in their hearts to own a parrot, there really is no bigger reward than having a relationship with a bird. When you walk into your house and you see those big eyes turned towards you and that head tilt and you hear that, hello? You melt just a little bit. When you pick that bird up and they walk right up to you and they lay your head against your chest and all they want to do is cuddle, you melt a little bit. When you realize that combination locks can't even keep your bird locked in their cage, you think to yourself, I need to be smarter about things, right? As I keep saying, look past those pretty colors if there's something that doesn't look quite right with the bird, and look into what the bird is. Also, it's very important for you guys to know, if you have your heart set on one species of bird, don't ever think, I don't want another species. My wife and I, when we first got our large parrots, we went to the BC Exotic Bird Society and we said, we do want a large parrot, an Amazon, an African grey, a macaw, something like that. Cockatoos were the bottom of our list. I will be the first to admit, I looked at cockatoos and I thought, they don't look like a parrot. They're white. They don't have the pretty colors, all that kind of stuff. As luck would have it, we ended up fostering 2 umbrella cockatoos, just like Nigel over there. Say hi, Nigel. Come on, Cindy, make him talk. You can do it. I just wanted to see you flap your arms around and try and look like a bird again. You're easier to train than Nigel is, Cindy. So as I say, we had 2 umbrella cockatoos come into our lives. We said, okay, we'll foster them. 2 days later, we were saying, these birds aren't leaving our home. The bird that you think you may not want might be the one that is the best bird for you. If you come to the society looking for a bird, we will ask you a bunch of questions about your living situation, about the amount of time that you have, and if we feel that the bird that you're looking for is not really the right choice for you, we will work with you and help to educate you on what bird will be the best choice for you so that you can have a successful relationship for that entire life of the bird, or your life as it may be. We want to see you guys have a bird if that is truly what you want in your life. It doesn't mean that parrot ownership is for everybody. If you don't feel you can have a bird in your life, then don't get one. It really is that simple. If you still want to help though, there are many ways that you can help. As I said, you go into the Vancouver Zoo with your cell phones, they will give you a 2-for-1 voucher for admission. You just recycle your cell phones. Of course, you can make donations to the BC Exotic Bird Society, and those donations go to the care and, pardon me, care and everything that's necessary for these parrots when they come into our foster program. When a parrot comes into our foster program, they remain in that program for a minimum of 30 days, so that when they're up for adoption, we have the ability to tell you that this is a healthy bird, or this bird has some problems, and this is what we're going to need to continue to deal with. Hopefully we can start to tell you some of the personality of that bird. Either way, our main goal is to have you and your new bird be successful. So, this is Sydney. We do have what we call a no bird turned away policy. Sydney here, of course, has got a fantastic home. Unfortunately, when some birds come in, their owners have left them to the point that there is really nothing that can be done for them. And we do sometimes, as a responsible rescue, have to make the best choice for that bird. We don't want to adopt out a bird that's going to be somebody else's problem, and we don't want to see any birds suffer. So even if you have a bird, and you are starting to feel that you cannot handle this bird anymore, please come talk to us. Maybe it's a behavioral problem that somebody can help you with, and you and your bird can establish a better relationship. Maybe it is a situation where your bird needs to find a different home. Either way, at the BC Exotic Bird Society, we are more than happy to help you guys with that. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming today on behalf of myself, Maya, Charlie, Sydney, and the BC Exotic Bird Society. We thank you so much for being here. We hope you've learned some about these parrots. And if you are considering a parrot, once again, please adopt and don't shop. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day.